What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Wanted to make another update video today, and we're proceeding with the cargo trailer build. That's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I always say we. If you're just finding this channel and you want to follow the journey from the beginning, please hit that subscribe button, like the video to help push it out to more people, and leave me a comment below. So I've been doing first of all, we're up to 11,000 now in the savings. By my estimation, that is enough to buy a cargo trailer and have it insulated. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. So, you know, in that previous video, I had been doing some research on cargo trailers, and I said, and I still maintain, that I could get the cargo trailer done and the solar done for what it was going to cost me to buy a van and have the van mechanically gone through and do the things I want to do to it, okay? Well, since then I've done more research, and I found a place local to me at home that sells these cargo trailers for pretty significantly cheaper than a lot of the pricing that I was seeing. So, you know, I was seeing stuff in the $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 range, and you know, for what I'm looking for. And this place is selling them for like $7,500, and they're upgraded metal, 16-inch on center beams. You know, they appear to be good quality. So what I did was I called around a little bit, asking some places, because like one of the main large amount of work that I would have to put into it is the insulation, because it's just a lot of tedious work that would take a long time to accomplish. And so anyway, although it's more expensive, I thought, well, I could just get closed cell insulation sprayed on the inside of it somewhere. And I started calling around, pricing it, and I found one place, and the guy said about $1,600 to have that done. And I think that's probably going to end up being the place I go with if I decide to go that route. And the one thing he was kind of concerned with was that he said it's really hard to keep it at a 1-inch depth, which is the size of the beams in those walls. And so I'm coming up with a way that maybe I can get a little more than 1 inch on there, maybe even 2 inches, and still have a sizable gap to be able to put radiant barrier bubble wrap stuff and then the wall board on top, and to defeat the thermal bridging like I've been talking about, so or like I talked about on the other channel actually. So basically the idea is that all those metal beams and the metal on the outside of the trailer create this tremendous thermal bridge that transfers the heat from the sun directly through that metal and radiates into the living space, okay? Now, if I was initially thinking about using foam board, and then I'm about to go by a weigh station, so I'm going to get a beep here. Let's get past this here. And green light. So, initially I was thinking about putting the 1-inch foam board and then going with 3/4 slats crossways to cut down the thermal bridging, and then I'm blanking on the name of it, the radiant barrier bubble wrap stuff and the wall boards, right? And that would give me 1 inch of traditional board type insulation, which is about R5. That's a R rating, is what they use to tell you how effective an insulation is, and R5 is not much, okay? But if I do this spray foam, and instead of doing the 3/4 inch, I just use 2x4s, which are 1.5 inches thick. See, the thing we have to understand is that now that I'm in a 7-foot wide cargo trailer, I've got more interior space to work with. So before I was trying not to lose too much interior space, but now I can lose a few inches and still have enough room to have that bed side to side. So anyway, now my thought is that, so closed cell spray foam is about 6.8, 6.7 R per inch. So if I use a 2x4, that gives me 2.5 inches. So if I can get 2 inches of insulation in there, I'll have more. I'll have an R13, some R14-ish, which is pretty damn good. And that closed cell will also provide stability to that metal wall so it doesn't flex. I'm really thinking that even though it's a lot more expensive to do it that way, it's a lot less work, and I think it's worth it. So so that basically puts me at, just say, $8,000 for the trailer, another $2,000 for the insulation, puts me at about $10,000. And if I can get the solar done for $6,000, then $16,000 for the trailer, the insulation, and the solar. I was going to spend that on just a van, not even counting the solar, not counting the insulating it or any of that stuff. So, guys, I think that's the way I'm going. And I can bring it to them and they will spray it, and then all I got to do after that is just slap the radiant barrier on it and the wall board and do a floor, and you know, then start building it out and put my fans in it and all that stuff. So it's exciting. I'm getting excited. Now, the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to jump the gun and buy everything too quickly, because it's about to get hot and I'm going to be in Texas, you know, and so I don't really want to be doing this build in August. And I'm still working out like where it's going to occur. I've got some friends that we're going to talk a little more about it when I'm at home time. I might potentially maybe be able to do it at their place. I'm starting to think it might be a little too much to ask. I've talked to my parents, and I'm pretty sure, worst comes to worst, I can do it out there. It's like 2.5 hours from, you know, from town, and it'd be more difficult. Not really more difficult, but it'd be more time away from things that I want to do when I'm on home time, like see my friends and stuff like that. But ultimately, that may be what I have to do. However, the spray foam insulation will cut down quite a bit the amount of time it's going to take me to accomplish it. So that's where we're at. I'm going to try to hold off till, say, late August or September before I buy the cargo trailer. That way, when it's time to start building on it and put the solar on it and all that, it's not going to be too hot, and I can try to catch it in that fall time area where it's like, I mean, Texas, it pretty much goes from 105 to 30 overnight. There's just one night it'll happen, you know. So I'd rather do it in the cold than the heat, probably. But another thing that I actually called and talked to the people at the cargo trailer place, I believe it's called Extreme Trailers, X-T-R-E-M-E, and they said they are willing to do customization to it. So they had several models that were in stock for like $7,500, $7,800 that have the RV door and the barn doors on the back instead of the ramp, which is what I want. But I'm going to have to decide, either I'm going to have to put a couple of windows in it, or I'm going to have them put a couple of windows in it, and then also a ladder rack thing on the top so that I can mount those solar panels without having to drill holes in the roof. And they said they can do all that, and I can even buy my own stuff and bring it to them and they'll install it. It's going to bump the price up a little bit, you know, but ultimately, I think, especially, now I may do the windows myself, but especially when it comes to that ladder rack, I would like to have it installed by them. So I'll probably at least have that done by them, and then probably have the spray foam done, so I don't have to fuck with all the insulation. And I'll get a better R value and that closed cell spray foam, not the open cell stuff now, but the closed cell stuff it's kind of rigid. So not only and it also, it's closed cell, so it's mostly waterproof. So not only does it like provide some stability, because those cargo trailers, that metal between the studs, even though it's an upgraded thickness on these trailers, it still will flex and you know, dent real easily and stuff like that. And that closed cell foam, especially if I can get 2 inches of it, will provide a lot of structure on the inside, and also will just seal the shit out of it. You know, I won't have to go around with caulk sealing stuff and everything, because that closed cell foam will seal the shit out of it to where I won't have to worry about any leaks or air getting in and out and stuff like that, except for where I put vents and decide for it to go. So yeah, I'm thinking that this is the route I'm going. So, you know, after ladder racks and windows and stuff like that, we're looking about 17, 18 for the trailer, the insulation, the upgrades, and the solar. Guys, that's just, it's hella savings off of doing it with a van. Like, it's just going to save me $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 probably, all said and done. So I'm getting excited. I've started putting a bunch of stuff in an Amazon list. Starting to really do research on the stuff that's going to go inside of it, and you know, since I'm going to have so much more room than I would have had in a van, I can much more fully outfit it, and it's coming up. It's coming up, guys. Like, you know, we're going to be at least, like I said, at least at 12,000 before I take home time. Maybe 13. We're at 11 and it's the end of April. But I do need money for when I go in and stuff. So, yeah, here we go, guys. Again, if you're just finding the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit it. Smash it. Because this build's going to be coming up in a few months. And you know, then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to the rest of the build out, and in a year and 4 months, year and a half ish, I'm taking off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.